Hello all, I am Miss Shahinda for first secondary. Now we are starting our first module, module 1 with grammar. Our first lesson is present tenses. We will start by the present simple tense. As you know, in present simple tense, we put the verb in the infinitive form with I, you, we, and they, or we put s, es, ies with he, she, or it. We use, now we are going to slide number 3. The present simple is used to describe permanent situations, like Tina lives in Bristol. We can also use the present simple to describe repeated habitual actions. For example, he wakes up at 7:30 every morning. 3. We use the present simple to talk about general truth. Water boils at 10 C. Also, we can use the present simple to talk about future actions related to official programmers and timetables. For example, our plane leaves at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So as for schedules and timetables, we use the present simple tense. We are moving to a new slide. We use the present simple to refer to the events, the plot of a book, film, story. For example, Oliver Twist goes to the workhouse at the age of 9. We can also use it in sports commentaries whenever we are commenting on matches, like Taylor shoots and he scores. Then in exclamatory sentences with of, here, there, etc., like here she comes. We can also use the present simple in declarations whenever we are declaring, announcing something, like we regret to inform you that your application has been rejected. Also for newspaper headlines, we use present simple. Police arrest judge on bribery charges. Any headline for the newspaper, we use present simple. In instructions, like first you cut the tomatoes and then add them to the mixture. As for the time expressions, we have the adverbs of frequency, like always, usually, often, sometimes, occasionally, rarely, seldom, hardly ever, never constantly. But take care that we can use some of these time expressions with other tenses. As for always, we can use it in present simple, past simple, present progressive. So take care that they are not only connected with the present simple tense. As for their position in the sentence, we usually put them before the main verb like come, go, eat. So Richard never comes to work late. So here we put never before the main verb. So again, adverbs of frequency are put before the main verb and after verb to be. He is often away at the weekends. We can also use adverbs of frequency, as we said before, or in the morning, spring, at the weekend, once, twice, 3 times a week, a day, a month. We can also use on Mondays, Monday morning. Then we are going to move to another slide about the present progressive. As you know, present progressive is formed by using am, is, are, plus verb, plus ing. We use am with I am doing something. He, she, it with verb, he, she, it is verb ing. You, they, and we with are plus verb ing. As for the usages, when can we use the present progressive? First, to describe actions happening now. Actions that are happening during the time of speaking. Robert is talking to his boss right now. 2, to describe temporary situations. Situations that will not take a long time. So this is the first and the main difference between the present progressive and the present simple. In the present simple, we use the tense for permanent situations that are not very likely to change. But for the present progressive, this is temporary situations. They are not going to continue for a long time. For example, I am staying with my aunt at the moment. 3. To talk about annoying actions which happen repeatedly. If you are annoyed by someone, by an action, you are going to use present progressive. For example, you are always interrupting me. Again, take care here that we are putting always in the present progressive to indicate that we are annoyed by the action of someone. Then we are going to move to another slide. So we use the present progressive also to describe situations which are changing or developing around the present time. For example, air pollution is increasing in our city. So this is a developing situation. Now we have air pollution and this is going to rise in the next period. Also we use the present progressive to talk about future arrangements. Anything that we have arranged to do in the future time, we use the present progressive. I am visiting some friends this weekend. So if I have arranged to do something, we use the present progressive. New slide. As for the time expressions, we have now, at present, at the moment, today, days, this weekend, this year, this week, next year, tonight, tomorrow, and the last 4 of them, next week, next year, tonight, or tomorrow. Of course, these are for future simple and for present progressive if we are talking about something that we have arranged to do. New slide. Now we are taking the present perfect simple. Present perfect simple is formed by using have or has plus PP. PP is the third form of the verb, like go, went, gone. We use the present perfect simple to talk about an action which happened in the past, but the exact time is not mentioned. So something happened, we don't know when it has happened, we use the present perfect simple. I have already done that. So take care here that we haven't mentioned the time. 2, to talk about a state or action which started in the past and continues up to the present. Something that started at a certain point of time in the past and still continuing to present time. Mary has had her car since September. So she bought the car and still have it. So Mary has had her car since September. 3, to talk about an action that happened in the past and finished, but the results are obvious. The results are clear in the present. For example, I have just finished my project. Now you can see my project. So this is the result of finishing or of doing my work. 2, Tim has washed his car. You can see that the car is clean. So if something happened in the past, but the results are still clear in the present time, we use the present perfect simple. New slide. Also, we use the present perfect simple for recently completed actions. We have just finished dinner. Something that we have just finished. With adjectives in the superlative form, like the best, the worst, and expressions like the only, the first, the second, the third. For example, it's the first time I have received an email from Martin. New slide. As for time expressions, we have just, yet, already, ever, never, before, always, how long, for, since, recently, lately, once, twice, so far, etc. Take care that each one of them, or many of them, have different places and different usages. As for the first one, just and at the same time already, just and already are usually put between have or has plus the PP. So they are put in the middle between have or has and the main verb. I have just finished my homework. I have already fed the cat. As for yet, we put yet at the end of the sentence. Usually the sentence is question or negative. Then we have ever, never. Of course, never indicates negative. And we have before, always. Take care of always. We put it in the present simple tense, present progressive, and here in the present perfect simple. So take care that time expressions are not the only way to know which tense to use. We have to understand the meaning of the sentence in order to choose which tense is going to be the best, is going to be correct for the meaning of the sentence. We also have for and since. For could be followed by for a long time, for 2 years, for 3 months. Since is usually followed by the starting point of the action. I have had this toy since my childhood. So the starting of the action is usually put after since. Now we are going to move to a new slide, which is mainly about the difference between the past simple and the present perfect simple. We said that the present perfect simple could be used for something started in the past and continues up to present time. And we know that past simple is used for past actions. So how can I choose in a sentence whether to put the verb in the present perfect simple or the past simple? The main difference is that in the past simple, we usually put the date. The date is mentioned. But in the present perfect simple, the date is not mentioned. So we use the past simple for actions that were completed in the past and the exact time is mentioned. Present perfect simple, I have tasted Mexican food. Now we haven't mentioned the time. But for the past simple, I tasted Mexican food last night. So here we mentioned the time last night. We are going to choose the verb in the past simple tense, tasted. Also, we use for and since for actions that started in the past and it continues up to present, as we have mentioned before. Now, for the present perfect simple, for and some notes. For is usually followed by a period of time. For example, I have been here for 2 hours. But since is usually followed by the starting point, the start of the action. For example, I have had this car since 2004. Also, we could use since to connect two sentences. We will put since in the middle, followed by past simple, and before since we are going to put present perfect simple. For example, Julia has changed jobs 3 times since she moved here. The first verb is has changed. This is present perfect. Then we have since in the middle. Then we have the new verb or the other verb, verb 2, number 2, moved in the past simple. A very important note is that have been and the difference between have been and have gone. Have been to means that you went somewhere and you came back. But have gone or has gone means to go somewhere and you haven't come back. So have been to, have visited and come back. Have gone to, have not returned yet. For example, I have been to the bank twice this weekend, but of course I came back. Example number 2, John isn't here. He has gone to the bank. So we put gone, has gone, or have gone to mean that someone is not here and he went somewhere else. Now we are going to move to the last tense, the present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous is used to emphasize the duration of a state or action which started in the past and continues up to present. What does it mean? If we are going to emphasize, to stress that we want to talk about the duration of the action, how long has it taken to do the action? Present perfect progressive is used to emphasize, to stress on this point, to emphasize the duration of a state or action which started in the past and continues up to present. For example, I have been learning English for 6 years. Why here we are using present perfect progressive? Because we have the time mentioned. The stress, the main focus of the sentence is on for 6 years. The coming slide, or the second usage of the present perfect progressive, is to talk about an action which happened over a period of time in the past and may have finished, but the results are obvious in the present. So something started in the past, may have finished, we are not sure, but still we have the results clear in the present. We have been walking around all day. That's why we are so tired. So something that we have been doing and the result is clear here during the present time. Then number 3, to show annoyance resulting from a recent action. Again, for annoying actions that have finished. Who has been wearing my jacket? Thanks for listening.